Alright, y'all. So today I've decided to show y'all a few plants that do well in semi-hydro. I like to keep my plants in semi-hydro. I love leca. I love what it does for the plants. It's pretty easy for me. But like I said, what always works for me doesn't always work for everybody else. So I just wanted to show y'all a few plants that I'm actually keeping and have been keeping in semi-hydro for about 2 years now. That do really well. They hardly lose leaves. Honestly, they do nothing but grow. So I kind of wanted to show people a few of these plants that, you know, you may be a little bit afraid to keep because you think that they wouldn't do well or they're not so easy to keep. Without further ado, we're gonna get straight into it. Starting with, trying to see. Let's start with this Syngonium. This is a Syngonium albo. Very easy plant to keep, I'm pretty sure a lot of you know. I've been keeping this plant in semi-hydro. Let's get a good look at it. Let's see. I've been keeping this plant in semi-hydro for about 1.5 years now. And so far, we're gonna keep our fingers crossed, knock on wood. So far, it hasn't had any leaves drop. And it does really well. I don't really have to water it as much as some of my other Syngoniums, which is pretty cool. And it doesn't really, like I say, yellow off or brown or anything like that. So I'm pretty grateful for the fact that this plant is growing the way it is. And it is in leca, as you see, keeps dropping everywhere. It is in leca, got roots growing out the bottom as if it was in soil, but it's not. It's in leca.
You ain't boring, you excited. Hope I ain't boring you. Hope I ain't boring you. You ain't boring, you excited. Hope I ain't boring you. Hope I ain't boring you. You ain't boring, you excited.
Okay.
And I
So
hope
the
I ain't
next
boring
plant
you.
I have is a Philodendron domesticum variegated. And let me tell y'all something. I had the regular version of this plant. Let's get a good look at her. She got a leaf. This leaf has been yellow. This leaf been yellow for about 3 months now. Holding on. And I'm gonna let her hold on strong. But anyway, I had the regular version of this plant. And when I tell y'all, it grew so fast and so much, I had to like literally give out so many cuttings of the plant. And so when I came across the variegated version, y'all know I had to go ahead and do my thing and grab that joint because it grows so easily. And I'm gonna be real, I love the variegation, the patterns, you know what I'm saying? I'm a variegated plant type of guy, but outside of just it being beautiful in that way, the way this plant grows is so beautiful to me because it's simple. She don't need a lot, she don't ask for a lot, and don't tell nobody, but she definitely can go through a little bit of neglect. So, you know, we fuck with that, so that's that one. I also have this Philodendron Florida Beauty in leca. First of all, get into this pot. Look at this junk. Come on, man. Come on, man. The pot alone, I was like, man, listen, I wish I would put soil in this. What? So a lot of times with my vessels, I like for them to kind of have moisture at the bottom, but I don't keep it filled completely with water, at least for some plants. Ones that drink a little bit more, I might kind of chance it a little bit on that end. But this is a Philodendron Florida Beauty, as you can see, because she beautiful. I've been growing this in leca for 2 years. This is a mother plant of mine that has been chopped and propped a few times. But yeah, look at her. She thriving. Again, another one that has not really had any problems outside of what I just plucked off. I think that I damaged that by mistake because I'm always messing with my plants. I need to leave them alone sometimes. But yeah, I feel like realistically, the longer I keep these in no drainage, the more I realize how effective no drainage could be for the plants. I know a lot of people may not be a fan of no drainage. I am, obviously. For those of you who do not know what no drainage is basically how there is no way that the water can come out, right? So it's pretty much in there, it's locked and loaded, has a lot of moisture, but a lot of times people like to keep, the plants in the nursery pots, obviously, like when I showed you the Syngonium and even just the Domesticum, they have drainage. So basically the water can drain out. But I love no drainage, honestly. As you can see, don't really do the plants any harm, at least in my care and what I've been doing. But yeah, Philodendron Florida Beauty in Leca. Okay, who we got next? Let's go with this one. Okay, here I have, fix myself. I just got up, sorry y'all. By the way, Happy New Year. It's 2025, day one. How y'all doing today? I'm feeling good. I'm sorry, I didn't even get a chance to say that in the beginning. But this is a Philodendron Green Congo Nuclear. Now, I know that there are people out there that definitely know about this plant and definitely know how easy this plant is to keep. And I agree. I have kept this plant completely, actually look at this. It's actually wrapped in moss, which is something I test out with some of my no drainage vessels. I completely wrap the roots in moss, and then I layer it, bottom layer leca, top layer leca, and I basically kind of just water it when the moss dries, as if it was in moss anyway. But I had no intention on doing that long or keeping it long term that way. But the way this plant has thrived, with me keeping it that way, I just felt like it was very important for me to continue, seeing what that's about and seeing how the plant does in that. And I have, and she has thrived. I mean, just look at this. Now, I will say, I just repotted her. Oh, I'm dropping that and shit. Sorry, y'all. I did just repot her 2 days ago. And so a lot of these smaller new growth leaves are actually from the fact that I had her in a, what I call a humidity cylinder. And I like to kind of put my plants in cylinders or deep glass vessels and allow them to get, a little bit more humidity without actually having to run humidifiers in every part of the house. More on that on this channel for sure. But just get a good look at these leaves real quick. Look at that. Get some of those. Just beautiful. But yes, Philodendron Green Congo Nuclear. Next we have one of my favorite OGs, the Monstera Tie Constellation. Look at that leaf. Jeez, look at that baby. Monstera Tie Constellation. Now, this particular specimen was sold to me as a creme brulee. Not really sure if it's that. It does have way more variegation than I've seen in tie constellations, but jury's still out on that. Gotta kind of keep seeing. I have chopped this plant to find that out. Maybe a little crazy to y'all, but I really want to know what's up and what I got going on. The Monstera Tie Constellation. This plant does so well in semi-hydroponics. Like, I can't explain to y'all enough how comfortable and how vigorous these plants Monstera grow in semi-hydro. I keep every single one of my Monstera in semi-hydro. I don't have any Monstera, I don't think, because I don't want to lie to y'all. I don't have any Monstera in soil. They love it. The main thing though is making sure you keep an eye out for root rot. Because even with this right here, I decided to do no drainage. That doesn't mean that I do no drainage in all of my Monstera pieces. But I feel like a lot of times with no drainage, you kind of got to pay attention to the plant and what the plant likes, you know what I mean? So realistically, I know that Monstera definitely can rot for sure as far as the roots. So I'll be very careful with that. And I make sure the reservoirs definitely have water, but not so much, you know what I mean? And the plants, they love it, they thrive. I don't have a lot of browning in the, like you can see in this white spot here. You can see this variegated spot, like, come on. No browning, you feel me? Now I do sometimes use my fertilizer. I make my own fertilizer. And I think that when it comes to feeding this plant nutrients, or especially Monstera nutrients, I think it's very important for people to know that you don't have to feed so much, but you do have to feed frequently. I know that probably didn't make no damn sense, but it's just what I figured out so far, and really, you know, diving more into these Monstera and just seeing what they do, how they thrive, what they thrive off of, what they don't thrive off of. But yeah, Monstera Thai constellation. Definitely an easy plant to keep in semi-hydro. I mean, just look at this specimen. I mean, jeez. I think I'm gonna do one more for y'all. Let me try to find one.
Wishing the house full of stories.
Can't keep from falling.
Shooting stars, but full
So
of
after
dreams that
scouring
fall apart.
through some of my inventory, I found this. And as well, if you guys don't know, I do own a plant shop. It's an online shop, Plant Deco. We're based in Atlanta, Georgia. And we have more so semi-hydro, you know, art pieces centered around plants. But we do ship plants definitely in nursery pots with leca. I'm working on a pond mix of my own. That's coming soon, so stay tuned for that. But this is what I meant by the humidity cylinders. I basically put these plants in here from small, basically, right? And it's like a terrarium, basically. It's a semi-hydro terrarium in the simplest terms. But I allow them to stay inside of these vessels for a long period of time, just depending on whether I need them. Someone may not really want the vessel or want this style plant, but want the actual plant. So, you know, I'll pull them then, but for the most part, I keep them in there as long as I can and as long as they're thriving, because a lot of times plants definitely like humidity, but it's just different. It's like, it's very much an open top to this cylinder, but them being able to have some sort of covered humidity actually allows them to be able to breathe in, you know, fresh oxygen. And then I change the water pretty frequently because I allow it to evaporate and I don't put a lot in there. That's another thing. And so they do really well, a lot of the plants. I've tried different things. Some things don't do as well as others, is what I realized. It just all depends. Like, it taught me that just because a plant needs humidity doesn't necessarily mean it needs a lot or it needs just, you know, an abundance of it. But this is a Monstera Adansonii tricolor variegated. And as you can see, it is in leca. I have sand at the bottom. That's a trick I learned from one of my old heads back home, where I'm originally from, which is Memphis. But yeah, garden trick. Sand at the bottom of the semi-hydro for sure. Definitely a game changer. With that, we're gonna close it out because that's just what we're gonna do. I appreciate y'all for definitely watching, coming, watching these videos. If you could, please like and subscribe to the channel because we got more coming. I know this was pretty quick. I'm just trying to get in the swing of things. Again, this is my first time doing this. And so I want to do it right, but I definitely want to do it genuinely. Like I said, I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video.
Scared of what comes naturally beyond a screen of lazy.
Pressing in Manolo, dancing on the go-go, jumping like pogo, skiing like Coco.